Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Spooky Show with Eric, Viv, and Dan. And this week we are so excited because we have not just Alan Cox, but I found out before we went live that he's Monsignor Alan Cox. It's great to have you on, Alan. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Viv, very much indeed. Yeah, you can't ball me up too much because I'll have to have the doors widened to get my head through.
You know we love you, Alan. You can do no wrong with us. You can do what you like, and we don't care because we love you.
Thanks, Viv.
Alan,
love you too.
It's been a while since we last spoke, so we've got so much catching up to do. Hi, Noreen. Noreen says hello in the chat. As the messages pop up, I will put them up for you, Alan. I'll keep Noreen up there for a while.
Thank you. I've got to take my glasses off so I can read them. Most people have to put glasses on. I have to take mine off.
I put my glasses on to hear people. Alan, so I don't even know where to start because there's so many facets to you. Right. I'm going to go back to the beginning.
Okay.
So if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind.
I know you helping people with problems and issues of a spiritual nature.
Yes, that's right.
Going into their house. I know you don't maybe not like this term, but I'm going to say it. A fantastic medium, spiritualist, healer, everything rolled into one. You to me, you were like Merlin the magician, or just right there.
No, I go along with that. Going back some years ago, and always sticks in my mind that after we'd been and done a clearing, and I get a phone call from the lady the next day, and she said to me, "I saw you drive away." She says, "You weren't driving that car." She says, "I think you come from another planet." And I said, "Do I take that as a compliment?" She said, "Oh yes."
But you were doing that for many years though, going in and putting yourself in harm's way basically to help people, because you didn't know what you were working into.
Well, Anne and I were doing that on Saturday. They'd just gone. We went down to Dartford, and it ended up being good at the person's flat.
Yeah.
But it was an unbelievably, ridiculously hard day. We left home at 8:30 in the morning to get there for about 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
We finally got to her flat at 5 p.m.
Wow.
We was there an hour and a half, did the job, and then we got home at 11:30 at night.
Oh wow, that's dedication.
It was just totally unbelievable, the things that happened to stop us from getting there, but we persevered and we got there.
Was it an extreme thing that was happening?
It was. Well, I know my way around the country, really well, but obviously I needed the sat nav to find a new build where she actually lived.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her on the phone. My sat nav stopped working. No disrespect to the young lady, but she hadn't got a clue with directions. And I went round and round and round and round. I've never known anything. I got stuck. The traffic was just unbelievable, and I don't know where the time went. But in the end, she said, "Can you find your way to the railway station in Dartford?" And I said, "Yeah." So I found there. It says, "I'll drive down and pick you up." I've never have found where she lived, and So how long is that? That's 5 and 4. 5, 3, about 8, 9 hours to get there.
Wow.
And then it took 4.5 hours to get home. So.
Wow. I tell you, spirit work in mysterious ways, didn't they?
Very much so. And we're good for nothing on a Sunday.
I can imagine.
So yeah, still doing that, Vivian. Still
That's
doing
good.
that.
That's good. William Becker says hello from Oregon.
Hello.
Yeah, I've got a couple of friends who live in Oregon. Yeah.
And Nettie, she's naughty, is Nettie. I can say that because she's a friend of mine and I'm away with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it.
Hello, Nettie.
She's lovely, Nettie is. No, she's another show host. And William Southey, greetings from the historic world. Hello, Sir William, as I call him.
So you.
Hi, Sarah.
You wanted to know how do we start this? Can I suddenly jump forward to just about 3-4 days ago?
Let's do it.
Yeah, just a bit. So hang on. Yeah, you asked me the question. I'll see what I can answer.
Okay. So I was going to ask you about what happened in this lady's flat. Was it hard to resolve? Was it because you've been doing this a long time, so you know? Well, you've got the experience, let's say. Yeah.
Well, it wasn't so much what was in the flats as what was with her, even though there was stuff in the flat. It was all really about curses. Literally being there almost like from when she was a baby. Jealousy within the family.
Whoa.
Extended family. So it was, yeah. So yeah, it was. So it's really strange because the flat actually seemed calm, but when you looked, there was a lot of negative energies there that she'd brought with her from where she used to live.
Yeah.
So it was like she was carrying them with her.
Oh wow.
And it's affected her life, quite extremely, really. I mean, she's got herself a good job, but what the curse was basically is that she can never find happiness and never find somebody to share the life with.
Because these curses are a real thing. Like they really do harm people right the way through their lives, don't they? Ben?
Yes, some people don't believe in them, and the thing that I find is that you can't convince anybody of none of this, can you, Viv?
No.
When it comes down to it, the person's got to have the experience, good or bad, to actually know that it's real.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And when you get, I don't know if you remember years ago, they used to have these programs on our TV over here in a studio, and that you'd have a lot of the audience on the one side believe in this, and on the other side don't believe in it. And then you got the person in the keyboard, and all that was doing basically was just shouting at one another, and it doesn't solve anything.
No.
So I'm not in the business of trying to convince anybody that they should believe, because they either will or not.
I'm getting funny feedback noise, and I don't know where it's from. I'll turn my fan off.
Is it off my phone?
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
No.
No, it seems to be coming elsewhere in the room. I've got nothing else on, so I don't know what it is.
Okay.
So you have progressed to you got ordained within the church.
Yes.
And then you got ordained again to a bishop status.
Yes.
And your title is, I can't pronounce the name, Monsignor?
Monsignor. Yeah. Monsignor.
So do you take church sermons, and what does it involve?
No, because we haven't got an actual church, a building. But my ministry basically is what I've been doing now for a good many years, doing this, healing people, doing clearings and that. We get together on a Tuesday evening on the computer, like we're talking now. So we do all know one another, but we've got members over in Norway, Italy.
Oh, wow.
All over, and if you look at the OCAC up, it is a registered church with the World Church Council, so it is properly recognised.
What is it called? OCAC?
That's right, the Old Catholic Apostolic Church.
Okay, I'm going to if I put OCAC in my search, it would come up.
Yeah, it will.
Lorna says, hello, you-hoo, everyone, and hello, Alan.
Hello. Thank you all for tuning in.
So I'm just going to put this in here, OCAC.
AC, yeah, OCAC.
Right, I'm going to tell people, look this up.
Yeah.
And then they can find out
Yeah.
who they need to be clicking onto to...
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, that's just reminded me of something that happened to me going back some years ago, this is. I've been interviewed by the BBC on air and on radio, and you could find me somewhere in the archives of their website. Mm. But this was... I was in the BBC studios in Birmingham, and they've got like a phone in, like now, talking. Anyway, this gentleman came on the phone. If I remember right, I think he lived over in Tamworth, if I remember right. Oh, that's important. Anyway, he said, can I share an experience that I've had only a couple of months ago? And the lady, the broadcaster, said, yes, of course. Anyway, said, I never really got on with my dad, and but I loved him. And I think deep down he probably did me. But anyway, he was dying in hospital, and I get a phone call saying, if you want to say goodbye to your dad, you better get here, as quick as you can. So he gets to the hospital, and he goes to the room. He's in a separate room, and there was a doctor and two nurses in the room. And I looked at me, this man said, and said, you're just too late. He's just literally just died. And this guy, he got down by the side of the bed, and he said, Dad, I love you so much. You never really said that you love me. He says, and I wish things could have been different. Now, remember, this guy's dead.
Yeah.
He sat up in bed, the man did, who was dead, kissed him on the cheek, lay back down, and that was it. And they just all looked in total astonishment at it. So you can take that how you think, but that's just quite amazing.
I just think that the son was very lucky to get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, no words.
Wow. I just heard somebody out there go, yeah. So my house, I've been having some issues with my house.
Is it the same house that I came to? Have you moved, or is it the same house?
It's the same house.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's like there's no rhyme or reason when it's going to happen, and when it does happen, it happens really spectacularly. I get things thrown at me. People did you hear that, Nori? Nori says she heard that.
Yeah, I heard something.
I'm in the house on my own. There's nobody else.
Andy wasn't even there, so.
If I suddenly get up and run and leave the room, I've left the house. Okay.
Elvis leaves the room, isn't it? Not you.
So I'll be like, Alan, come round. You can stay the night. Don't worry about traveling home. Oh, dear.
Yeah, that's a bit spooky, that is, isn't it? It is.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what I did, Alan? I did something really silly. Well, I think it's really nice. I went and investigated a graveyard that has it's an old one, not a new one, that has apparitions of a man in a top hat. So we thought we'd go and have a little look. And it was just late in the afternoon while football was on. We did nothing strenuous. We just sat on a bench and I just went round to look at some famous graves. And I found an unmarked grave. Well, it was a grave that was so old that you couldn't read anything. And it was just like a square in the dirt, if you like. It had concrete over the top.
Yeah.
And on top of that was part of a clay pipe.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
And right next to where we were sitting, because it was a bit of a hill, then a tree, there's a bench, and the rabbits had been digging under this hill. And I thought, oh, it's got to be one of the rabbits that put it there. I was meant to pick up the clay pipe, because I love my archaeology, as you know, pick up the clay pipe and work with it to get to know who it belonged to, who the grave was, find out as much as I could. It was meant to come home with me. It sort of calmed what's been going on in the house a little bit since I've had the clay pipe. I'm not saying that it's sorting it out. I haven't had the chance to work with it yet. But maybe I should have left the clay pipe where it was and not bring it home. But I just felt like an urgency. No, you need to be taking this. Don't leave it there. Don't leave it there. It was put there for a reason.
Probably your guide's telling you to take it home, wasn't it? Yeah. I would think that's probably what it is. Yeah. Spirit telling you.
Yeah, but I tell you what, I have conflict here because my house is on top of a Roman villa, and then I have some more modern stuff that comes in to do with an old railway line, and it's sometimes it clashes.
I remember you telling me that when I came to your house.
Yeah.
So that's it. You see, some people just don't realise, that they build houses anywhere, don't they, nowadays?
Yeah.
And
did you hear that? That wasn't me. Sorry. That wasn't me. That sounded like a rude noise then.
Do you have a cat? There's a cat around?
No.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. It seems to be in here with me. Guys in the chat, if you do hear anything, just let me know, because you might hear stuff more than me, because I'm not listening to it. I'm listening to Alan.
Now, I'm going to say they build houses anywhere, and I think one of the worst places is when you've got the overhead power lines and they build houses literally underneath them. The builders and the people who say, we can build it there, don't realise the effects that it can have on people. Some people are more susceptible to it than others. Trouble is, you have to be very careful where the build house is, but we only live in such a small country, really, that there's no way of avoiding it, really, I suppose.
I'm going to ask you a really strange question, Alan.
Yeah.
I know that you help and you do healing and you're a brilliant healer. Have you ever done healing on spirit?
Well, it depends how you call healing on spirit, Vivian. Because, is this healing? Going back some years ago, where we live, as I say, we live semi-rural. We're on a main road out in the country. But about a mile and a half away from us, you're in the proper, urban.
Yeah.
And going back some years ago, there was a house that caught fire, and I think, it was 3 children died in the fire.
Oh, wow.
And it was on the news and the TV, and in the papers and everything. It was absolutely tragic. Anyway, some time later, and it'd probably be about 7 or 8 months later, we've purposely left this vortex open in the front bedroom. Anne and I sleep in the back bedroom. We left this open in the front bedroom because we do have spirit come through, good spirit come through. And these 3 children came through, and they were lost. And I linked in and found their great grandparents, and an angel, literally an angel, came down and gathered them up and took them to their great grandparents.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Is that's to me, that's healing.
That is healing. Yeah, that is. That is definitely. I think that's healing. That's helping the kids.
Yeah.
It was, quite traumatic, really.
How did that affect you? I mean, did you have any effects from doing that?
No, I don't think so. I just feeling of. I thank God and I thank the guides for their help. Because it's the one thing that I've always realised, that it's not me.
Yeah.
It's a partnership between the guides and myself, and I can't do it without them, and they can't do it without me. It's a partnership.
Yeah.
And if this gift that's been loaned to me isn't treated properly, I'm under no illusions that it could be taken away from me. So I do treat it with all reverence. It's a responsibility.
Yeah, no, spot on. There's not enough people that do this kind of work and call it a responsibility, because you are responsible not just for yourself, but the people that you're working with and for, and even your guides. You're responsible for how they are behaving and how you're working with them.
Well, this work is. I've met some incredible people. My personal, really great friend who passed away in 2012 was the Broadway producer Manny Cox. I met him in a bizarre way, and we became great friends. And I went over to Sedona in America. Anne wouldn't fly, wouldn't come with me, but I went over twice to help him. And we were getting together a Broadway show, and he went and died. So that ended. But he was an incredible, absolutely incredible guy. You might know about this, Eric. Back in I'm not saying you're that old, but the history of America. In 1953, Orson Welles did the radio show War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
And Manny did the producing on that show.
Oh, wow.
And it was so brilliant that a lot of Americans actually thought that they were being invaded by men from Mars. That's how brilliant the production was. And Manny almost didn't get that role. He was out of work, living in New York with his first wife. And he had the phone ring. And he was offered $5,000 to do this show. So he goes down to this warehouse somewhere in New York. And when he gets there, it's a pornographic show. And he said, I'm not doing this. He said, I know I want the money, but no, I'm not doing it. And he goes back home and he says to his wife, and she said, no, that's good. I said, but what we're going to do? Now, you're on about spirit. Half an hour later, the phone rings again. And he thought, and it's Orson Welles. And he really didn't think it was him. He really thought somebody was really, playing him up. Anyway, it was Orson Welles. And he got $1 million for doing that show. And if he'd have taken that other show, not only his reputation would have been down the toilet, just think how much money he'd have lost. But
it's such an amazing story.
Yeah.
I went to Sedona, and I found it quite amazing because Manny's family, Charles Fox, who I know, he wrote "Killing Me Softly" for Roberta Flack, and then Bernard Fox, he used to be the lighting and electric person for what was it? Universal Studios.
Yeah.
And his nephew Stephen Fox lives in California, and he's a top producer for the top pop groups. So I got to know all these people. And anyway, when we tried to put it together for Sophisticated Ladies, the show, I had one guy come down from Oregon, one from Texas, two from New York, all come down because I was there.
Oh.
And we had a great get-together.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, so I've met some incredible people.
I've met an incredible person. It's this man here.
Pardon?
This man here, William Becker. He's an incredible person, but he says to me he keeps hearing sounds, bits of sounds like that, grumbling or growling, that's coming here.
So, you can hear it now.
I think it's in my room with me. He said it sounded like somebody clearing their throat a bit.
Oh, really?
So, but yeah, William Becker he's an incredible guy. He's going to get a big head now and go extremely red. But he's one guy that I really look up to, and he's basically the only person I listen to, but I don't tell him. I won't let him know that I'm listening and take him.
I know you did.
But I do. I do really. He's going to be like my big brother. That he didn't want me, but he's saddled with me now. So it's funny how life can throw two people from different countries together, and then you make a bond.
Sorry, Anne, what did you say? Oh, right. Yeah. Sorry, she just reminded me of some of the things that happened to us, that's all.
You know what? If you ever get on this William Shatner show, this Unexplained Things,
yes,
you better take her with you, because I don't think your life would be living if you didn't.
That's right. What she's on about, right? This is going back a good many years ago. We was asked to go down to down in London to Putney. Excuse me. Anyway, I got an old car, and we get down to. I missed the turning, and we got down to Hammersmith flyover.
Yeah, I know it well.
And I turned off, right? And as I just left the roundabout, you go under the flyover around.
Yeah.
The car overheats, and I pull up, obviously, and there's all steam coming out of the engine and what have you. And there was these three people, two men and a woman, walking towards me, and they said, "You need some water, don't you?" I went, "Yeah." They said, "You see down this little entrance here, so the police station's there on the left. He says, just at the back on the right, he says, there's the church. He says, if you go into the car park, there's a little hole in the wall, and Mother Mary has got her hand statue pointed at the hole. If you go there, there's a tap. You can have as much water as you want."
Oh.
So I've got a canister, and I went and I got the water, put it in, obviously let it cool down. Started off, and literally 50 yards on the other side of the road was a petrol station. The car only did 50 yards, and that was it. It was gone again.
Yeah.
So I crawled onto the petrol station, pulled it away from the pumps, and I went in. I said, "Look, I'm really sorry, but I can't go anywhere, So, "Oh, no, you'll be all right there." So I found the AA. I was in the AA. And I kept the lady informed what was going on all the time. And then I waited about an hour and three quarters. The guy there, I turned up, he opened the bonnet, and he said, and it was all burnt out, and the wires had melted and that. He says, "Where do you come from?" I said, near Wolverhampton. He said, are you hoping to get home tonight? I said, yeah. He said, you'll be lucky. And then he went, hang on a minute. And he spent half an hour. I haven't got a clue what he's doing. And he got it working. He got the car working. That's right, the car moved. And he said, we were sitting there waiting for him to come. And the car just moved by itself. It moved across by the bumps. And I had to push it back. It was just, it was bizarre. So bizarre. Anyway, finally got it going. And I phoned up the lady. And she says, where are you? And I told her. She says, oh, my God. I said, what was the matter? She says, I told you about I was passing on the bus to by a cemetery. And these three spirits came out of the cemetery. And it was almost like they attacked me. And I was on the upper deck of the bus. And there was nobody else on the upper deck of the bus. I said, yeah. He says, have you just passed the cemetery? I said, yeah. He says, that was the cemetery.
No.
So anyway, we finally got to the flat and we did the work. I never had to take that car in to have that repair. Goodness knows what that guy did, but it was bizarre. It really was bizarre.
That's so funny. Maybe that holy water that you put in there had something to do with it. Maybe it was working for you. Yeah,
exactly.
Wow.
So there are some amazing things that happen. There are.
Yeah. What's the worst case you've ever had to deal with, whether it's the living or the dead? What's the worst one that really sticks in your mind and you think, oh, I was lucky to sort of get out of that one? And
I don't know. What do you think's the worst one that we've done? It's hard to say, isn't it?
Like it scared you, like really shook you to the core.
I hate to say that this sounds rather conceited, but I've never been scared. Oh, right, yeah, that yes. Now that sounds very, very conceited, saying that I've never got scared, but I haven't. I think the reason why is because I've just concentrate on what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It isn't that I'm brave. I think it's just the fact that there's a job to be done. Because if you're scared, you can't do the job, can you?
No, that's true. That's true.
What Anne's on about is that going back some years ago, we were in the magazine Fate and Fortune.
Yes.
And we had the photographer come on a Saturday, and he took all the photographs and everything, and it was actually sent to spread on the magazine. And the guy, Robin, who came and did the photographs and that, he said, "Oh, I'm following this young lady." He said, and this was like in the November. He said she's got terminal cancer, and she was diagnosed with it in August, and they told her she's got about 6 months left to live. So I've been following her every week, telling the story, and going in this other magazine. Anyway, about a month before then, I'd stopped going around and doing readings and that. But I had a friend phone up and said, "I've been let down, Alan. Do you think there's any chance you'd come and do some readings for us?" And it was at this pub hotel out in the country near Worcester. So I said, "Okay, I'll come." So I went, and this young lady came in, and I was sitting next to her actually in the snug of this hotel. And sometimes you can be a bit, I don't know what the word is, thick, because it's obvious she was ill. But I said, "You're not very well, are you?" It's a stupid thing to say, And she said, "No, I'm not." And she told me what the case was. And I said, "Can I put my hand on your arm?" And said, yeah. So I put my hand on her arm, and she said she felt all this energy go through her. And then she said to me, she says, would you come to my house and help me? I said, yeah. So this was on, that's right, it was on a Saturday. And she said, so I arranged to go on the Tuesday, and Anne came with me and went to her house. And she lay on the settee, and I put my hand on the stomach. And she said it felt like my hand was actually inside the stomach, pulling and, you know, doing all kinds of things. And I couldn't move my hand. It was almost like it was super glued on there, you know.
Yeah.
And so when I finished, she said, will you come again? I think it was the Friday. We went the next time, the same week. And it was different the next time. She didn't feel so much, but she could still feel things. So it's like the end of November. So I didn't hear anything from her until the week, 2 weeks after Christmas. And she phoned up. She says, I'm cured. I said, oh, that's fantastic. He said, well, what happened was, he said, after I had the psychic surgery and the healing, I got ill, really ill. I had pneumonia, and I was really in a bad way. And I really thought I wasn't going to pull through.
Yeah.
But then just the week after Christmas, I got my appointment, and I went there. Says, and they did a complete examination on me, and they couldn't find any cancer in me anywhere at all. It's all gone.
Oh, wow.
No, I'm not taking the credit for that. Right.
Spirit.
That's what spirit. That's what spirit. Yeah. That was. And I'll tell you what was. She actually worked with children for the NHS, and her husband, he came from quite a well-off family, and he didn't support her at all. He just didn't want to know. She got 2 little children of her own. I think at the time she was about 24, 25 years of age, that's all. And anyway, last I heard, she kicked her husband out and started a new life.
Oh, and, good for her.
Yeah.
I thought that, and it was you see, people use the word a chance meeting. If somebody hadn't let down this friend of mine, I wouldn't have been over there doing so-called readings.
Yeah.
If we hadn't gone in, and I wouldn't have met her. It's really, really bizarre, isn't it, really, the way things happen?
Yeah. It sounds like you had some good surgeons working with you that day when you did the healing as well.
Oh, incredible. Without them, I'm nothing without them. Right, here's another one. Are you all right with this?
Yeah, of course, carry on.
And kiss feeding me things. Yeah, right. I've got to. All right, okay. I've got to think how this happened. Right. Who was it, Anne? How we met her? No.
Did you hear that? I'm hearing these noises.
Yes, I heard that.
It went like that.
Yeah, I heard it.
Yvonne.
It's listening in.
It is. Whoever it is in this room with me.
Yeah, it's listening.
It's not horrible. I don't feel uncomfortable. It's just, if you're going to say something, say it. Get lost, So let us carry on.
Right, shall I carry on?
Yes.
Okay. A son phoned me up. This is up in Manchester, and said about his mom. His mom was in her 80s, and the first name was Judith. Anyway, Anne and I got there, and she was suffering with cancer. What's incredible about her was that she was Jewish, and all her family were captured by the Nazis. She was taken with the family to Auschwitz. There's only her and one sister survived.
Yeah.
All the others were murdered there. And she had the dubious pleasure of meeting Goebbels. She was 14 at the time, and she could, although she was Austrian, she could speak German. And he said to her, "Haven't you got beautiful hair?" And he had it all shaved off. And she said the dogs used to come into the cabins at night time and tear people limb by limb. So it's a miracle me and my sister survived. I was liberated by the Americans. Her sister went to live in New York, and she came over to England. And but she developed cancer, and she had a double mastectomy. But they messed it up. They just didn't do it right, and basically she was in a state. Anyway, a son found out about me and asked if we go up there. And Anne and I went. She lived in like a wooden controlled flat, where she got her own flat. And that. And I always remember it was on a Tuesday. I gave her some healing. Anne was holding her feet, and I was sitting behind her, and she said to her, she says, "Don't be shy." She says, "Put your hands round me," and then I put my hands where her breasts were. And she said, "Oh God, I wish I was 40 years younger."
Is that what she said?
Pardon?
Is that what she said?
That's what she said.
Yeah.
Anyway, she had the healing. She asked whether we'd go back again. That's right, it was on the Monday, that was right. And that's right, she got the numbers carved into, the Nazis put on, And so we went back up on the Wednesday, and we met her son. And he was a really nice guy. And he said, "I can't thank you both enough." He said, because she has been out of this flat for weeks and weeks and weeks. And she said she had the energy. He says, and we went out shopping. We went up the market. We did some shopping. And we come back home to her flat, and she actually cooked me a meal. He says, so, I can't thank you enough. Anyway, she said, "Can you come back again Saturday?" I said, "Yeah." He said, because we're going to go, we found a hotel, which is like a hospital overlooking the sea in Mallorca, and we're going to go over there. So, but, if you could come on Saturday to give us some more energy. He said, okay. So we went on a Saturday. And anyway, I got a phone call from a son about a week later saying she didn't want to come home. And then I had another, but she's feeling good. Then another call about 5 days later saying, "It's really going downhill now." Says, and she wants to come home, but she can't because she's not well enough to travel.
Yeah.
And she died out there.
Oh.
And the son was named Simon, and he phoned me up and he said, "I do thank you and Anne so much." He said, because without what went on, so we wouldn't have had the energy to have gone there. And as son and mother, we've sorted a lot of things out between us.
Oh, that's lovely.
And a family, they own a leather business. And I've still got the wallet she gave me, and Anne's still got the purse that she gave us as well. And the business is still going. And I've never met her daughter, but her daughter runs the business, and is still going today. So I can't even imagine what she went through.
I know. It's I had somebody that I knew when I was very young, like a friend of my grandparents, that had stayed in Auschwitz and had an experiment done on him.
Oh.
Yeah, and he came out of Auschwitz He was liberated. He was in the other camp, not the big main one, but the other camp where all the experiments happened.
Yeah.
But he survived it, and it left him a mute the rest of his life. But he found a lovely lady. He was brought to the UK, found a lovely lady and married her. Her name was Doris, which was my nan's friend.
Oh, wow.
So he had a wonderful life over here. But when another friend, when she was my nan's friend, was passing away, and I went to go and see her at the old people's home. She was Jewish, and she said to me, "I need you." She had dementia, bless her. She said, "You need to go to Auschwitz and pay your respects. You need to pay your." So off I went. As you do, thinking that I owed it, to Fred, who sadly passed away many years before. But I remember seeing that tattoo on the arm, and he had it on his leg as well. Honestly, it was horrible. But anyway.
I'll tell you what happened, though. About a couple of weeks after the lady had died, we was called down to London to do a clearing. And I know my way around pretty well, so when I get lost, it's take the wrong turning. It's because it's spirit. It's not because I don't know where I am. I mean, I know it's like the back of my hand. And I ended up taking the wrong turning, and it was on a Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And I'd ended up in Golders Green, and there was all goth to the synagogue.
Yeah.
The street was full of people, and then it came into both our heads. It was Judith. She wanted us to go there and experience to see all the people going to the synagogue. It's quite amazing.
It is. I mean, spirit works in mysterious ways and in good ways sometimes, because through the bad you do get to experience the good. So I don't regret going to Auschwitz. I don't regret looking and seeing the things that I saw. It's something I'll always keep with me, and I will never understand it, but I'm glad I went,
I'll tell you something, Vivian. You say, you asked me whether I get frightened, and I said no. You're braver than I am, because I know that I could not stand the energies there. I just couldn't.
Do you know,
the thoughts?
But people say that, well, you don't hear birds sing and they don't pass by, and it's quite a dreary place. Well, when I went, I heard the birds singing. It was a lovely summer's day, a bit cold, a bit chilly, and there was a lot of good energy. And while I was there, an elderly gentleman came to. He actually stood next to me while I was looking through a glass display, if you like, of all the suitcases that had the names and things put on there. And he said to me, he pointed at it, and he said to me, and he must have, this is going back a few years now, but he said, "That's my suitcase." And I just looked at him and I went, "You what?" He said, "That's my suitcase." And I said to the woman that was walking up towards him, I said, "Is he with you?" And she said, "Well, yeah." I said, "You need to take him to a member of staff, because they'll want to know about his story and his suitcase, if that's his suitcase." I said, "Is it his suitcase?" She said, "Oh, it most probably is." And I went, "Do me a favour." I said, "Don't just leave here. Go and tell them his story. Don't let him leave without that."
That's amazing, really.
Yeah. So through all that bad, there is some good, because this one man, he survived, and he obviously had a family of his own. So that, I thought, there is a lot of what I call dark, bad energy, but through that, the good always shines through.
I agree. Yes, it does. I mean, it's like what's going on in the world at the moment, isn't it? It's as a race, really. I mean, the human race. I mean, how far have we really moved on? I know we haven't got that scenario, but there's some awful things that happen in the world, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. And I think whoever this is agreeing as well. Oh, Von's come up with something. She says, hang on, I've got the wrong glasses. I visited Majnik, and I'm glad I have. It certainly opened my eyes. I did feel very emotional for what everyone had suffered, but I also paid my respects to them all. Yeah, and I think that's the most important thing, remembering and paying your respects. That's yeah. But yeah, I couldn't pay my respects to Mengele for what he did to Uncle Fred. Uncle Fred had his genitals removed in quite a horrific way, which yeah, I know, it wasn't good. But from that, he survived, and I looked up to that man. He never spoke to me. I was quite scared of him, really, because he was a big, tall fella, you know. But and he never had children of his own. So when I used to go, they got the opportunity to babysit me a couple of times. I think they took advantage of it, you know. They were lovely.
What on earth? You can't even imagine the horror of it all, can you?
No.
Living. So I hand picks up on different guides coming in.
Oh.
And there's one named Mr. Matthews, and he was and doesn't pick up what they do, but I'm guessing that he used to do with radio, and he's come along to help you to make even more of what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
And you got to talk to him.
Okay.
In your head, just talk to him.
He's my communications guy.
Yeah, he'll help you. He'll help you a lot.
Do you know what? I can take that right now, because something has been offered to me that's quite big, but it means I have to take up script writing, and I've never done it before in my life.
Well, I can't go into any details.
No.
But I am with somebody else in the process of doing a very similar thing, actually.
Oh.
It's not easy. I thought about it, thinking, well, they've said, you know, we'll have people that are on hand to help you, but it's, you know, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's not think about it now. When we sit round the table, we'll have a discussion then.
Good luck with that.
Well, I think that's why he's coming in, this Mr. Matthews, to help me with that, maybe.
Yeah. Isn't that weird? Because I'm just at the start of an adventure like that as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Really, life is strange.
Von says, my relative was in a Japanese prisoner of war camp and never spoke of it. We only found this out at his funeral. Oh, wow.
Well,
that might have been horrific.
Well, when Anne's dad died, right, 2019, he's just a very strange man in the sense. I got on with him, but I was always nervous around him. It's really odd. And he was, he didn't treat Anne very well. But he was very secretive. And his brothers, they were very secretive as well. Anyway, when he passed over and we're sorting out his things, we only found out that he was a secret agent for for us, for the British.
Oh.
Yeah, we found a document there thanking him for all his efforts, and then we actually found some photographs of him.
Wow.
The SS. and he could speak fluent German.
Yeah.
Yet we really got the only thing we ever got out of him was that I was in training camp in Carlisle. And I was behind enemy lines in France, and I was taken in by this family in the resistance, and they protected me. And you just don't know what people do you?
No. Mm-hmm. No, that is true. That is true. It's like even today, you think you know someone, but do you really? You don't know anything about them. They could be working as an MI5 secret agent, or, you know. Who
That's
knows?
right. Yeah. Well,
You're not supposed to tell anybody, Viv.
What's that?
When I was on Paramania radio station, Dave Erickson used to own it and do it. He stopped doing it now.
That's right.
And I had like 4 shows on there, and I used to monitor people listening on Podomatic, and I used to average probably around about 6,000-7,000 people a week, and it tells you on the map where people are listening to you.
Yeah.
And for over a year, I had one listener, wait for it, in North Korea.
Oh, wow.
It had got to be the boss, hadn't it? It had got to be. They wouldn't let anybody else listen.
No, that's it. Oh, it's brilliant. Oh, I love that.
He must have got fed up because he stopped listening.
Or he got found out.
I got found out, yes.
Oh. Well, we've done an hour.
Right.
I feel that we need to talk more because there's plenty more that needs to be. Would you come back on again and speak to us again, Alan?
Of course I will. I'd find that absolutely really lovely.
Because
really lovely.
we've got years of catching up. You do realise this, with you and Anne, and maybe we could coax Anne to come on to camera. You never know. We won't force her. We won't force her, but if she's more than welcome to as well. Because
I think she's quite happy. You can hear the voice in the background. I think she's happy with us.
A lot of people do that, they're a bit shy, camera shy. But I want to thank you both for tonight. It's been amazing. The stories have been fantastic, and I know we got more to talk about. So we want to do it pretty soon, don't we, Eric?
Yes.
Because they're really, really interesting.
I didn't really give you a lot of chance to talk, Eric. I'm really sorry.
Okay.
Eric's very quiet anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
I did invite you onto my show, so at a point we've got to sort that out for you to come over on mine as well.
Can I come on with Eric?
Of course you can.
Thank you.
Eric, you've got to answer all the questions. You can't be quiet,
Okay, I'll answer all the questions.
He's silently mysterious, is that Eric? Eric knows I'm joking.
I know.
But no, thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for joining us.
Do you know when are you thinking about me coming back on? When
couple of weeks. Couple of weeks.
Yeah. We're going away on the 8th of September for a week.
So maybe when you come back, we'll get you back.
I can do it. Yeah, I can do it when we come back. Yeah.
I'll send you some dates over, and you can take your pick, whatever you like.
Okay.
We can sort it out. But
so really, anything from the 15th onwards. Yeah.
Leave it with me. And thank you to everyone in the chat. I'm sorry if we didn't get around to putting your questions up, but we will go through them and we'll try and get them answered for you. But as always, we can't do this without you guys. You mean a lot to us, and we do love you. You do know that,
Is there any chance of me having a copy of this?
I can send you a link. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, definitely.
I can put it on my website then. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Woo! Get us.
If anybody's interested, may I say this?
Of course you can.
Our website is understandingspirit.com.
Let me write this in.
You got to write it down.
All one word, understandingspirit.com.
Got it.
And if anybody's interested, on Amazon, my book, The Life of a Psychic Broadcaster.
Ooh.
You can get a copy of that.
Let me write that in.
The Life of a Psychic Broadcaster.
Oh, I might need to get a copy of that.
It's about my life. I wrote it in 2017, and I sat on it for 2 years, and then I had it published by Austin Macaulay, and it's literally about my life from a child right the way up until 2017.
Brilliant. That sounds like I need to get that.
Mm-hmm.
I need to see you, and I need you to write something incredibly funny in there as a dedication to Viv. Get on and do your work or something, you know.
Yeah, I could do you a signed copy, of course I could.
Oh, bless you. No, thank you ever so much. Guys, get onto Amazon, have a look at the website. You're going to be amazed with what I only know a little snippet about Alan. You know, he's got a lifetime of experiences and working with spirit. It's just amazing. So
there's some incredible stories in there that's all true that have happened, and even for saying myself, it's a good read.
And I'll say here and now, you don't sound like John Lennon to me.
Okay.
I think you're more like, oh, you're going to hate me. You don't look like him, but you sound a bit like him. I picture Noddy Holder.
I've had that said to me before as well. He used to live 2 miles away from me. I don't know him, but he used to live 2 miles away from me.
Oh dear. And with that, on that note, with all that laughter, I'm going to say good night to everybody in the chat. We hope that you can join Eric tomorrow night for the Weird Room. What's happening tomorrow night, Eric?
And you know what? I got to ask him because I forgot.
Tomorrow night, 8:00, it'll be a surprise.
Yep.
Join in if you can, and don't forget the rest of the shows on the network this week. They're going to be great with William as well. I know that he's talking to Josh Miotta about certain things. Certainly, I have no clue what they're talking about, but it's going to be great. It's going to be a surprise. And don't forget Freaky Friday, always a good show. So tune in if you can. If you can't, you can always watch it on playback. We never take any shows down. And don't forget to check out understandingspirit.com as well.
Yeah. If you can send me the link, I'll put it on my website. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a
Stay right there, Alan. Don't go away. We're going to end the live stream. So take care, everybody. Mind how you go.